Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast in which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1 minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco, and Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Catchphrases.
Catchphrases.
Now, you know what? I think we grew up in the heyday of catchphrases, especially in television. You know, like I was trying to think, like, okay, how far back do catchphrases go? And when I mean like that expression recognized because it's repeated, you know, over and over again.
Like, did I do that?
It's the bigger love of the family.
Okay, that's a good one.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Oh,
welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Vinnie Barbarino. That's very nice. That's on my list. Very good. Okay, if you had to go back like one of the earliest ones, I went back to Doctor Who.
Exterminate.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. 60s?
Yep, 63. I mean, right from the beginning. You know, when I say the heyday, I mean in the 80s, you had everything from with J.J. Evans.
Walker, yeah.
One of my favorites, which I know is going to be a deep cut, but a nice lady by the name of Flo Castleberry.
Kiss my grits.
Yep.
From a TV show called Alice. You've got...
What you talking about, Willis?
Is a catchphrase?
Oh, yes. No, that's a catchphrase. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Hannibal from the A-Team. But think about this. What's the last great television catchphrase you can think of? And I can only think of one.
So I'm trying to think of everything through, because Friends has a lot of memorable lines, but besides
how you doing? Oh, yeah, how you doing? Totally right.
I guess so that would be my contribution, because after Friends, I can't think of any catchphrases there have been.
No kidding. The only other one I could think of.
Bazinga.
Oh, Bazinga. Yeah, which recently ended. Might have been the end of an era, because there's not a lot of three-camera sitcoms on it after that. So maybe with the end of Big Bang Theory was the end of catchphrases.
That's amazing to me. I think of all like the streaming television shows as we try to break out of what is now considered television.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else. I would love to hear if our listeners know of anything else, but that's a lost art.
True. Well, so bringing it around to the MCU.
Oh,
would you consider a catchphrase something like "I can do this all day"? It's a it's a phrase that recurs through multiple things.
Believe that it has now entered the MCU catchphrase stratosphere. Yes,
I mean, because there are famous things that our heroes have said, like "I love you 3000," but it only gets. I mean, it's one movie and it only gets said twice,
2 or 3 times. I mean, that immediately hits. That's catchphrase. Yes. But I like that one. That's that. Now, I believe there is one of those in this minute.
As a matter of fact, there is here in minute 100. Whoa! Centennial episode of Marvel Movie Minute, where we're talking about 2008's Incredible Hulk, directed by Louis Leterrier. Can we believe we hit triple digits?
I can't believe this.
Man, and what an appropriate place to have a very important moment in Marvel history.
Oh, yes.
Right here. But before we get to there, we have to go back to where we left off, which is Hulk is on his hands and knees, and Abomination is lining up his shot. So we talked a lot about the chain of mystery, the big clankers, whatever this thing is that Abomination has that appeared out of nowhere.
It's some sort of big freight dumbwaiter thing. It's I don't know.
It's a justice chain.
Yeah,
sure, whatever it is. Just because the toy companies asked that Abomination come with an accessory,
ball and chain. Okay.
Oh man, wow. There's a lot to unpack there. So yeah, I guess Hulk has his ball and chain, so now so does Abomination.
Yeah,
I don't know. No, that was a
hey, speaking of which, interesting transition you just made into what happens next.
Hey, look at that next shot. There's Betty. So Betty has finally freed herself from the wreckage, and now we have our Abomination with his chain.
Well, don't skip the fact that how does she free herself? She just gives a full-on kick to the door.
All these specially trained soldiers and stuff too. But Betty's the one who gets them out of there.
Nice job.
So Abomination starts a swinging, and he rings Hulk's bell with a bell. And what is on the end of these things? I can't get over these ridiculous chains that he has.
They're just oversized weights.
I guess so. And once again, Hulk goes down. Like, okay, man. He had just used his last power up in the last minute, and now like is it like this is all you have left, man. Like you got nothing.
And not only that,
you only have one move that you're charging up. So like, when are you going to use it, buddy?
Well, okay, and he gets hit.
Oh yeah, he goes. He's out.
He's out before he hits the ground.
Yeah.
No, this is
that's TKO. That's TKO. Yes. Yeah, start counting, ref, because he ain't getting. And
he immediately does try to get himself back up, but you can tell that it
ain't happening. Yeah. So then Abomination then turns and sees, oh hey, look, it's my old boss. Then he looks over and then says, General, any last words? And then he like picks up his chain and starts swinging it around again. And like
greatest wicket impersonation,
right? Yeah. Starts swinging around, and then it's getting so close to actually knocking pieces of the rotor off onto them. And it's just like, man, we just escaped from the fire and this crash. Then there was a fireball, and now this. Oh, how much more do we have to take? And then it's too bad that he was using slow-mo at that point, because he probably could have stopped Hulk if he wasn't just swinging the stuff in slow motion. Right. Because then Hulk gets to his feet and then says, I guess this is sort of the payoff of the any last words, is that Hulk says two very important words, and that is Hulk smash. So Hulk smash is obviously like one of the most famous phrases on the thing, like just like what you talking about, Willis. It also spent a lot of time on T-shirts and things too, because it's the two things that everybody knows about Hulk. But he didn't actually say it in his premiere, like his first issue. It wasn't until almost a year later that the writer, I'm not sure if it was Stan Lee was still writing at that point, came up with the idea and then put it together. So he premiered in Tales to Astonish 76 in 1966, but it wouldn't be until Tales to Astonish 88 in 1967 that he would actually utter what would become his catchphrase.
Okay,
Hulk
I'm gonna say something. I'm just gonna make me sound stupid in terms of Marvel stuff, but I have to ask you this because I just thought of this. So I would have researched this before.
Sure.
Does Hulk smash come before it's clobbering time?
That's a good question. I would think clobber time was first because the Fantastic Four were first.
Right. So you see where I'm going with this? That's what I thought. Is Hulk smash? Is that the big orange guy's got his catchphrase?
Oh yes, apparently doing my research, the Hulk the Thing first used his catchphrase, "It's clobbering time," in 1964's Fantastic Four number 22. So by a couple years, because things have been around longer than the Hulk.
Okay, I got lucky in that assumption.
So if we are lucky as fans, in the next phase of movies, maybe in phase 5, maybe Thing and Hulk will be on screen at the same time.
Okay,
Dare we to dream? That would be amazing. I would love that. I love the Ben Grimm, the Thing. So, but let's get back to our big green friend here, who has just said Hulk smash. Is like, okay, so clearly he's gonna just punch the daylights out of Abomination, right? Because he's gonna smash him, right? Hulk smash. But no, he actually has a better plan. He smashes the ground,
which, by the way, isn't the ground.
It's the roof of the courthouse? Question mark. Right. So I don't know. It's one of the things where like either Hulk is really in control of his stuff or really darn lucky, because it's like sets with this like Rube Goldberg-esque chain of events. Chain of events. Look what I did there. Nice. Hulk smashes onto the ground, causes a huge crack to form, which causes Abomination's leg to get caught, which causes Abomination to let go of the chain, which causes the chain to fly up in the air. And then what we have learned from physics is what goes up must come down. So it comes down around, and it doesn't. I thought like, oh, then it's going to hit him with the big weights, but no, it just like clouds around, and Abomination's like, oh man, I dropped my chain. And then Hulk goes running up and grabs the chain and then starts choking him with it. Like, haha, you bought a chain. Well, guess what, buddy? Chains can go 2 ways.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
There's a part of me when this whole thing happens.
Before you say that, it's a shame that this happened. What a weird chain of events that got us here. Thank you. I'll see myself out. Go ahead.
Well, wait, I'm gonna go much lower. Like the whole concept of, okay, I'm going to smash the roof. Again, we're on the roof. We're not on the ground. Right. We're on the roof. It's going to break. Like, okay, that roof, by the way, has a roof that looks to be 36 inches thick of whatever the material is, right? So again, I have a huge issue with this set piece. I don't understand. It's a full-on view of his foot. We get to see all his toes, right? Like, what? Like I just stepped in a crack and then I let go of my chain. And honestly, when it came back down on him, I just expected it to be one of those big weights that just says Acme on it.
We needed a big bonk.
Like,
Aye.
right? Because what a horrible way.
Now, did Hulk really anticipate all that stuff? He's like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
No, what he should have anticipated, which is what should have happened, is the building should have started coming down.
Everyone should have collapsed down because, like, the force
right?
I mean, this is supposed to be a decrepit building, right? This is supposed to be like we go right from like, okay, so Hulk is choking Abomination, like he's got the chain around his neck. And then we cut to Betty and Thunderbolt Ross, who have gotten out of the helicopter, and they are just blank. Like it cuts to them like just out of the helicopter, standing on the thing, watching this happen, and both their expressions are. But to their credit, they're probably both concussed and deaf at this point from the
actually, no. This is one of the few expressions of the last few minutes that completely matches what the expression would be. Like this is exactly what you would have because like, you're exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're numb from just after everything they've seen and what they're seeing now. Their brain hasn't caught up yet. So yeah, interesting.
So we learn then in the next second that Abomination is apparently not leash trained because he is really fighting it.
Oh yeah.
But then like so he pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls and then even like gives the Hulk a big headbutt right as that minute comes to an end. Big shot to the noggin. Ugh.
Do you know what I had a moment here? There's a shot here I'm going to just pause on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but this set piece, that Abomination head and the big chain, I had a big Spawn moment.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Very Spawny. Not intentional, of course. No. But well, I don't know. I doubt it. But very Spawny. Just because again, the way his face is. I mean, it kind of is. It's almost like the toasted Spawn head is really the head of what Abomination is put on.
Sure, yeah. Spawn from 1996, right? Based on the comic from Arizona's own Todd McFarlane.
That's the first shout out to I think Todd.
That's right.
Not why would we?
I don't know.
Todd
I
McFarlane?
think. I'm trying to remember if Todd. I would assume he was a long time Spider-Man thing, so he has to have drawn the Hulk at some point.
Yeah, I guess
because the two of them crossed over quite a bit. So I think
awesome.
I have to do some homework for myself. Find some Todd McFarlane Hulk. It'd be interesting.
So
but that's where it comes to an end. Is a big headbutt, and then they're still grappling with each other as Betty and Thunderbolt Ross sort of stare on like. Can you hear anything? Because I can't hear anything. Just this in my head, just like this.
Well, and we do get this idea. The Hulk looks in this last shot, the very final moment. He's just reeling backwards.
Yeah.
So apparently, he's been knocked out again.
But it's coming to. But this fight's coming to an end. It has to. This can't go on much longer.
We only have, in case you're all wondering, we only have 13 minutes left.
Yeah,
it's true. How crazy is that?
And a bunch of that's credits.
Yes. So
yes,
we're wrapping it up here pretty quickly. Like,
that's right.
We'll see.
Hulk's got to put him down.
Oh boy.
So in the meantime, as we're watching a movie with two shirtless green dudes grappling with each other, you might think to yourself, my God, man, put some clothes on. If you want to put some clothes on, or maybe perhaps a mask, or perhaps a coffee mug to cover your face, we can help you with that because we've got our own merch. That's right. There's official Marvel Movie Minute merchandise available that you can buy, and a couple little coins from that come our way to help offset some of our costs. So you can go to nextreel.com/merch and you get a link to all of the cool stuff you can buy with our faces emblazoned on it.
You know what? Maybe we really ought to work on like some catchphrase shirts.
I think that's a great idea.
Like maybe something like "Up your nose with dynamite comes together what she said, bazinga."
It covers all the bases. Like you are covered. Smash.
Smash
from Orc. So
Nanu. We didn't even.
I was trying to think of if I am Work from Work would count as a catchphrase, not because it's just what he says, but a Nanu absolutely would.
Oh, absolutely is. See, that was such a golden age.
It was.
My goodness.
We didn't know how good we had it.
No, there's got to be. We got to do a catchphrase shirt. Those all can't be still trademarked. Can they?
I'd say no. Well, maybe. Well, stuff like Bazinga is totally made up, so maybe. But I'm sure some of that stuff is. If you combine them all, I think that you're covered. So catch us back here for episode 101. Hope you had a smashing good time. Until next time, true believers.
Make it so.
However, here's my one last weird trivia note that you can feel free to cut out of the actual final thing. There was a catchphrase.
Why would we do that?
So in the original episode of Home Improvement, they were trying to create a catchphrase, and it did not work, and they never used it again. So if you go back and watch the first episode of Home Improvement, Tim Allen's catchphrase is not "more power" or "oh, oh, oh." It's "how do you spell that?" They were trying to make "how do you spell that" happen so hard. It is so sad. And by the time they got to the first episode, they never went back to it ever again.
Well, yeah, because that doesn't even make like
exactly.
Well, no, because that's only a catchphrase on like a chemistry show.
Right.
That's not a catchphrase on a like. So what's that made out of? Wood?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So not all catchphrases catch on. Let
No,
that be
they
a
don't.
lesson. Catchphrases is an art, not a science.
Well,
And that is our final thought for the night.